Okay, let's jump straight into this explainer. We're going to bridge the gap between that high school anatomy you might remember and some seriously mind-bending cutting-edge quantum physics. We'll explore exactly how your body talks to itself and how your daily habits don't just change your chemistry, but potentially your entire quantum biological reality. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The body's chemical network. 2. Metabolism, mind, and mood. 3. What disrupts the system. 4. The quantum biology paradigm. And finally, 5. Enhancing your endocrine health. Starting us off, section 1, the body's chemical network. In the classical view of biology, you've got these major players. There's the pituitary and pineal glands up in your brain, the thyroid in your neck, the thymus, your adrenals sitting right on top of the kidneys, the pancreas, and of course the reproductive organs. Now, unlike your sweat or salivary glands that use ducts, these endocrine glands are ductless. They just drop their chemical messengers, their hormones, straight into your bloodstream to manage growth, metabolism, and reproduction for your entire body. And the golden rule of this whole system, negative feedback. Honestly, think of it exactly like the thermostat in your house. These glands run on tightly controlled loops. Your body is constantly sensing internal variables, like your plasma glucose levels, and it produces the absolute precise amount of hormones needed to maintain dynamic internal homeostasis. The second that balance is restored, the gland gets the memo to dial it back. The crucial thing here is that they don't act randomly. It's a hierarchy, a sequence that we call an axis. Take the HPA axis, for instance. When you get stressed, your hypothalamus secretes CRH, which tells your pituitary to secrete ACTH, which finally tells your adrenal glands to pump out cortisol. Basically, it takes a single localized stress signal in the brain and magnifies it into a massive whole-body response. Moving right along to section 2, metabolism, mind, and mood. That interaction between the brain's hypothalamus and those peripheral glands, that makes up your neuroendocrine system. It basically proves that your hormones are the actual biochemical foundation of your emotional regulation and stress responses. Fluctuations here are directly tied to your mood, your daily energy, and even major depressive disorders. So yeah, your brain and your body are entirely chemically entangled. And these hormones definitely don't work solo. They integrate across the board. Insulin and glucagon from the pancreas play tug-of-war to maintain your blood sugar. Vasopressin handles your fluid balance. Melatonin and cortisol sync your biology with the environmental day-night cycle. There's even a brain-gut axis linking your gastrointestinal microbiome straight to your mood. It's literally a vast, interconnected chemical symphony. Which brings us to section 3. What disrupts the system? First up, we have outside hackers. According to the EPA, endocrine-disrupting chemicals, or EDCs, are exogenous agents that actively interfere with your internal network. They can alter hormone synthesis, block their transport, and even sneak past the blood-brain barrier. And since the permeability of that barrier changes as we age, some of us become incredibly susceptible to these chemical intruders. But it's not just chemicals from the environment. Our modern lifestyle is a huge impediment in itself. Chronic psychological stress forces that HPA axis to endlessly overproduce cortisol. Over time, that short-term survival response becomes totally maladaptive, driving insulin resistance, systemic inflammation, and completely wrecking your mood and metabolism. Throw in a sedentary lifestyle and Western dietary patterns, and you are actively working against your body's natural set points. All right, section 4, the quantum biology paradigm. This is where things get fascinating. We're in the middle of a massive paradigm shift. As highlighted in the book Metabolism and Medicine, traditional linear reductionist thinking, the classical mechanics of Isaac Newton, is really struggling to explain complex biological systems. We're now starting to look at the warm, wet, messy environment of the human body through the lens of quantum mechanics. It turns out metabolism itself might actually be a highly sophisticated quantum phenomenon. Think about it this way. Classical endocrinology treats a hormone like an old-fashioned postman, slowly floating through your bloodstream to deliver a chemical letter to an organ. But new quantum chronobiology models, they suggest your body operates on a lightning-fast quantum web. It utilizes biophoton-mediated coherence and electromagnetic fields, meaning your brain and those trillions of cells might be communicating almost instantaneously through quantum entanglement and light signals. How is that physically possible? Well, emerging research proposes that hormone pairs, like progesterone and estradiol, actually attach to your DNA and act almost like microscopic antennae. They generate specific electron potentials that allow your eukaryotic cells to directly transmit and receive these quantum light signals from the brain.
If that communication breaks down, say from a lack of progesterone, it could cause flawed cellular instructions and severe anomalies.
Finally, Section 5, enhancing your endocrine health. At a fundamental biological level, you can protect this incredible system by eating a solid, nutritious diet packed with protein and fiber and getting regular physical exercise. That naturally stabilizes your hormonal environment and your glucose set points. You also want to minimize your exposure to those EDCs we talked about and prioritize restoring your circadian rhythms, so make sure you're sleeping well. It's absolutely crucial for systemic homeostasis. But if we want to truly address that deeper neuroendocrine and quantum level we just explored, we have to look at mind-body practices. Clinical research, like the studies published in the World Journal of Pharmaceutical Science and Research, actually points to meditation as a profound, non-invasive, and incredibly effective intervention. The physiological impact of meditation is just wild. It literally recalibrates your HPA axis. It ramps up your calming parasympathetic nervous system and dials down that sympathetic fight-or-flight output. It actively drops stress hormones like cortisol and epinephrine while simultaneously boosting your melatonin for circadian stability. It even promotes real, physical neuroplastic changes in your prefrontal cortex. It's pretty much the ultimate holistic strategy for endocrine harmony. And bringing it full circle back to the physics, lowering your stress and boosting neuroendocrine health through things like meditation might actually help maintain what researchers call macroscopic quantum coherence. That's the sweet spot where your mind, your metabolism, and your cellular energetics are perfectly stably aligned into a unitary state of health. Loss of this coherence is theorized to be the root of metabolic and mental diseases. So, I want to leave you with a provocative question today. If our hormones are truly part of this ultra-fast, quantum-entangled web of biophotons, how might your daily thoughts and stress levels be physically shaping the light within your own cells? Your lifestyle isn't just tweaking your chemistry, it might literally be altering your quantum biological reality. Thanks so much for diving into this with me. Catch you on the next explainer.